Hello, friends. Just ball coaches talking to each other through a computer here. Podcast number 133, Talkin Shop. I have met many of you on the road. Thank you for listening. With one Chad Chop, who you found out last week has a brand new job. Any new updates as the new coach, new staff member of the Texas Rangers, Chad Chop?
Yeah, I got an update. My buddy Marty Urias is getting my glove dialed in, and he put some Texas Rangers blue.
Come on. Go to
Yeah,
the YouTube, check
yeah,
it out. I think the video's on Spotify as well.
says
But
bang.
he put bang on
No,
there.
that's from Cody. So that Cody Bellinger made this for me. It
Cody
says
Bellinger
chop,
made that, put bang on there.
chop in a
But and is this the Rangers clubby? Who put that Texas
no,
Rangers?
no, that's my friend Marty Urias. He's a buddy of mine who he does gloves. He restrings gloves, and so I need
Oh,
my
it's just
first
a
baseman's glove
gift.
ready to
Oh, I
roll. So
thought I
he
thought the Rangers welcomed you in with a little gift package or
No,
something.
that's I've had that glove. That's my guy. You can't just get a Rawlings Gold glove unless you want a Rawlings Gold glove. So that's a legit Cody Bellinger. I guess one of one because he made it for me. So bang.
That is amazing stuff. If you're just starting out on this pod, and I met some of you this weekend in Southern California, and you had never heard an episode, couldn't wait to start diving in. Chad Chop used to coach with the Giants, then the Dodgers, then took some time off to be dad and husband, and now he's back in the show, and we couldn't be more proud of him.
We're gonna have Cody
Excited.
on in about 5 minutes. Breaking news. He's gonna break who he's signing. No, that's not true.
Oh, you
That'd be
had me
cool
there,
though. Breaking news.
Belly. I will say next week, and we'll go ahead and tee this one up. We got a guest on next week's episode, and it's one of the. I mean, he could be the fourth face of this podcast. He fits right in. It's the dancing umpire for the Savannah Bananas. He's going to come on, and we'll have a nice chat before their season begins because they get going hot and heavy with Banana Ball very soon. So excited to have that guest on. Excited to get to your questions. We always ask questions from you listeners. Please keep DMing Coach Ballgame on the Instagram and Coach Grace, who is our new addition to the team. She's the one putting out all the reels on social media from this pod, and she's collecting your questions and putting them on the queue here for us. So we've got some good ones lined up. But I wanted to start with some questions I've been gathering from around SoCal, and these are the warm weather states that are starting their season up right now. Advice for the Little League president. We've got some of these hearts and souls, and when I shake these presidents' hands, most of them, there's no ego here. They just want to make a difference. They want to impact their league. Um, Coach Flick Money has joined us. Here he is,
Oh.
ready to rock and roll. Glad you're on. It looks cold in Seattle. You're dressed real warm. Coach Flick, before we get to this first topic of advice for all these league presidents, give us an update on the weather and your whereabouts. Where in the world is Coach Sean Flicky?
Good morning, Coach. Thanks for having me on. It's 33 degrees here in the Pacific Northwest. I've got multiple layers going on. There might be snow on the roof, but there's still coal in the fire. I'm feeling the energy of 7 Fernando Mendozas this morning, Coach. Uh, just, just really riding the buzz of what's possible. Love Coach Signetti was like, if you put your nose down and you keep it on the grindstone, you work hard. This is what can happen. Just an incredible turnaround story. I love a good turnaround. So that's the energy I'm riding in, Coach. Uh, yeah, thanks for
Pure
having me. Let's talk Little League baseball.
Pure glory. This episode's dropping on February the 3rd, so we're a little bit late to the Mendoza party, but Indiana Hoosiers, let's go. That we watched it last night. We watched it unfold, and what a great story. Go look up Coach Signetti's story. Look up his path to the top It's a long one. It is a grinding one, but really, really inspiring. And same with the Heisman Trophy winner, who Miami didn't roll out the red carpet for that dude. Couldn't even walk on. His mom had played tennis there. Dad, shout out, crew at Brown University, bang.
Bang.
Um, but he decided I'm just going to go win a Heisman Trophy and win a national championship for a college that's never won a football championship ever. A friend of
And
the
can we
pod, Joe
just
Buck. Joe
and
Buck,
can,
very excited last night
university?
as a
Yeah.
Hoosier. We were texting back and forth during the game, but yeah, just amazing how that went down. Now, Flick Money. Again, we are late to this, but if you're listening, just I don't know, go back in time 2 weeks because we're recording this on what day is this? The 20th, January 20th. The Seahawks look unbeatable. How is Seattle? How is that area feeling with really I think the team to beat?
I mean, yes, cautiously optimistic. You know, when you got open wounds from the Mariners and the high hope train that had to come to a screeching halt from a George Springer swing. Now you've got high hopes again, but it's the NFL. You know what I mean? Like, who knows? The Rams have had Sam Darnold's, specifically Sam Darnold's number, so that's what given me pause. However, I will say that it feels like we have a Legion of Boom esque defense right now, and defenses tend to travel pretty well through the playoffs. So we shall see. But man, what they did to San Francisco, it made it look like they were operating in a different league right now. So cautiously optimistic.
Yeah, let's go around the horn here with our Super Bowl picks because when this drops on the 3rd, we got Super Bowl Sunday on the 8th. I can't see the Denver Broncos getting it done without Bo Nix. I, I I guess Sean Payton could stir some sort of magical um, concoction, but I think Mr. Vrabel and the Patriots will get past the Broncos, and then I think the Seahawks will beat the Pats in a bit of a revenge from the Pats and Seahawks of what was that? I don't know, 15 years ago with the interception heard round the world. So I'm going to go Seahawks over Pats. Chad Chop, what do you got?
Man, I don't pay any attention to football, so I'm gonna go with yeah, I think the
Dolphins.
Terps.
Dolphins.
I couldn't care less. I'm gonna go with I think Pepsi's gonna have the best commercial
Love that.
in the Super Bowl because I look at the commercials. Yeah.
Um,
I
think
mean,
Chat GPT is probably going to have a commercial that
Might be
that
better.
blows minds.
They're cheating. Yeah.
And then I asked Mrs. Ballgame, who owns Chat GPT? Who's the owner of that? Is that like Google or does anybody know? Do
It's
we
a
know?
guy.
it's called OpenAI,
They're
and
yeah,
there's a founder,
yeah.
but they are now publicly traded. I believe they've gone public. But Sam Altman is
There
the
it is.
name. He's
Yeah.
the wizard.
Probably
Get
a
to know his
Stanford
name.
grad.
Get to know his name. He's in charge, and yeah, you gotta say good things. I like Sam Altman is what I'm gonna say. You have to say that.
Sam
I think
Altman's good. Sam Altman's good.
Sam
Sam
Altman's the
Altman's good.
best.
He's good. He's good guy. Good
Good guy.
people.
Good guy.
Uh, okay, Coach Chop. We can't gloss over what a controversial pick in your household
Pepsi.
that Pepsi is. When I happen to know that one Noah Chop
Yeah.
is. I mean, you talk about a guy committed to the Diet Coke brand,
Yep.
or
I
Dokes,
know.
as I've now been unceremoniously told I need to be calling it.
They're
Yep.
called
Dokes are
jokes.
a big deal in the Chop household, and you're going with Pepsi.
You're right.
Controversy.
Well, that's the thing. When that's and it is controversial. But I didn't say it's a better product. I said, in fact, it's a lesser of the two products. Hence, they need to spend more money on the commercial. So I think I can slide that by. Diet Coke doesn't need any extra help. It's superior in all ways. And so I think I can sell that to Doak Daly.
Doak Daly. Flick Money, let's go. Your picks for the Super Bowl. What do we got?
I'm with you. Patriots. I hadn't seen the Patriots play all year. I'm just very impressed with them overall. That is an incredible turnaround in its own right. I think they would have beaten Denver anyway, to be honest with you. But I definitely sorry, Jarrett Stidham, but I'm going to say the Patriots roll in. They play Seattle, and uh, I'm just so I protect my sensitive heart. I'm picking the
over the Seahawks.
You're going
That way, if
Patriots.
I'm wrong, I'm like, oops, I'm wrong and I'm happy. But if I'm right, I go, well, I already called it. You see what I do there? That's what a tender-hearted Seattle fan has to do.
If Bad Bunny does have a special guest for the halftime show, who could it be? I'm going to go with Mick Jagger. I just think that combo right there might break the internet. Anybody, any other ideas for Bad Bunny? Here comes special guest, Santa Clara, San Francisco area. It is none other than who? Will
I
I'm
need to
Ferguson.
going.
say, go ahead. Go
No,
ahead.
coach, go ahead, Chopper, if you got one.
I just have breaking news because I went straight to the source. I asked ChatGPT, and my new pick is now the Seahawks. They're favored, so I'm going with the Seahawks. I can confirm they're going to win the Super Bowl.
Matt Stafford is gonna watch him just roll over the
Hey,
Seahawks
hey, man,
and
it's
win
it's
an
uh it's
MVP,
science.
win another Super Bowl, ride a Clydesdale into the sunset and call it
Yeah,
a career. That guy, I mean, he is representing the gray beard, big time.
and they're also very strong in the NFC and second on many odds boards. Also from ChatGPT. That's a great quote.
uh,
Wait, wait,
coach,
wait,
to
wait,
go
wait.
back to who would I put Bad Bunny with?
But first, I think Chad Chop is going to be pitching batting practice for the Texas Rangers this year via Chat GPT. Somehow you're
Yeah.
going to be able to use
Yep.
Chat GPT to throw.
Yeah,
Yep. Yep. Patriots favored to win the AFC Championship and thus a likely Super Bowl contender. Yep.
And it does
we
not
call
sound
that
robotic.
we call that Chad GPT. It's when
Bang.
Chopper starts reading Chat GPT
Or as Mrs.
responses to
Ballgame,
us.
Mrs. Ballgame
Uh,
calls him boyfriend.
Bang.
She calls Chat GPT boyfriend. And Flick Money, Bad Bunny, calling out who?
Dolly Parton, coach.
Nine to
It's going to
five.
be a totally unexpected haymaker from the left side. No one's going to see it coming. It's going to unite the clans. Dolly Parton, don't laugh, coach. I'm serious. I'm not even joking. They do maybe a Jolene, a 9 to 5 Jolene mashup with a Bad Bunny song.
Yeah.
I would love to see it. I gotta tell you, me and Flick Money, when we're on the road, we're in a Dodge Charger or some sort of a Ford Stratus, which they're going to be making here in 2026, and we crank up all sorts of good music. And Sledgehammer, by
Mm,
Mr. Gabriel is top of the list. I
mm.
cranked that up in the van as we were taking a family trip with the ball game girls, and I think it lasted about 4 seconds. I got that first great sledgehammer beat in there, and I was just banging. Nope, right to right to Jonas Brothers and Taylor Swift. It didn't quite play there, so I'm
Yeah.
excited for mid-March, Flick Money, when you fly Seattle straight to Phoenix. We go rental car and we go sledgehammer like on repeat, a couple
Yeah,
times
coach.
through.
I understand when my kids too. It's when the ears have been attuned to pop music, it's tough to appreciate. You don't yet appreciate what real musicians playing and not just. I mean, no disrespect to them, but synthesizers. It's all amazing. But all the technology is amazing. But when you have a group of live musicians recording um, in a cave, while eating the meat that they killed, over a fire and painting their history on the walls. I think it's great. You know
And
what I mean? It's just different.
I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, Peter Gabriel's drummer was Phil Collins, and then he finally noticed Phil Collins was a better singer than he was, and Phil just went solo. Correct me if I'm wrong. Is that the path that it went, Flick Money?
That's actually
Genesis had Phil Collins as a drummer.
Genesis.
He just
Yep.
was such a great singer, similar with the Eagles. How
Yeah,
you going to keep Don Henley back there on the ones and twos when he's got that voice?
man, ladies and
I'm proud.
gentlemen.
Can I, if we're talking music and we're talking good music and parenting, when it comes to myself and Bo Chop heading to the hitting factory, it is a heavy diet of Sledgehammer. It is a heavy diet of Genesis and Phil Collins. And if I don't put it on, he does, unless he goes to Billy Joel. So I feel like I might be winning this one as far as good
Well,
parenting goes,
and
maybe.
and
I'll
how
chat
pro-
GPT it. I'm not sure.
how professional you are, Chad Chop, to segue into what our podcast is all about, which is parenting our young athletes and music, and
Yep.
bringing in that 70s and 80s, the real music, bringing that in
We
to
didn't
our
start the
batting
fire.
practices.
Yep.
Um, Man, it just
Yeah,
what
I mean we're professionals around here. And
that's what
also
we
I
do.
read that off of my screen. I'm still chat GPTing everything I'm saying.
I read that interaction with my son off of Chat GPT actually.
So yeah, I can't take full credit. Sam Altman gets all the credit. He is the best.
Oh
Coach
man.
Ballgame, you're outnumbered 3-1 in that van, in that minivan, though. We got to be honest, you're going to lose those duels over and over and over. Coach Chopper, you and Bo Chop, you got a little advantage there because I feel like there's still that tender age where the boys kind of want to be like dad, and so
Yeah,
we can sneak some music in on them. But Coach Ballgame, you're in an uphill battle, my friend, because
choose your
you got
battles.
three ladies and three dancing ladies. So pop music, R&B, upbeat oriented. Man, you are.
Yeah,
It's gonna be a
hard
long
for
time
them.
before Peter Gabriel gets a full run.
Also hard for them to hang on to Tedeschi Trucks Band guitar solo more than about 12 seconds. They can't let that go. RIP Mr. Weir, by the way. I mean, and you know what? We usually talk ball and we talk sports, but ladies and gentlemen, we're giddy, and we're not just coaches, we're humans. Coach Flick Money, I'll give you the floor on that man, that band. Go get them.
Well, yeah, I mean the Grateful Dead, Bob Weir, legends of improvisational music. Like let's just take the vibe of the crowd and let's turn that into a real-time improvisational piece of art that will never happen again. It'll never be this way again, and we don't need to try to lasso it and make it this way again. We're going to trust that wave every time is going to deliver creative majesty. And that trust, putting that trust in people, putting that trust in the universe, God, your spiritual center, whatever you want to call it, it's an incredible way to be an artist. And um, the Grateful Dead, yeah, I mean that is an entire decade. That's the if you wanted to take, how would you describe the 1960s in art? Both from a social perspective, from a artistic perspective, and a musical perspective. Just incredible talent. And Bob Weir was the last one we had, and rest in power, Bobby. Thanks for the art. As your own band was wont to say, keep on trucking down to New Orleans, keep trucking. It's the way we've seen, keep trucking. It's the way to be. Just keep trucking on.
As you're
Bang.
driving your kid to the hitting factory, dads, throw on a little bit of Grateful Dead, maybe some Fish. I think of Miles Davis as one of the best improvisational artists I've ever seen. Just man, beautiful, beautiful music. Rest in power, Bob Weir, indeed. Um, we've got some cool questions and topics to hit, but anything hitting either of you before we dive into what this podcast is all about, which is a roundtable discussion navigating youth sports.
Ready to rock. I'm excited for this question. Little League.
Ready to run. I will say that I was in San Diego this past weekend, And we have coaches and parents conversations after each sandlot. And I always ask anybody listen to our podcast, and out of maybe 40 adults, one hand. So, room to grow. I bet we've got some brand new listeners um, on this episode right here. So, welcome in. Stay a while, grab a cup of coffee. Boom, break from the podcast. Tell you about our partner, Warstick. They've got the best bats, the best gloves. Just go to their website and get the discount. Use code ATTABOY10. Ian Kinsler owns that bad boy. He's a friend of the pod. They make elite equipment, and I really love the look, the optics. They just make players calm in those big moments. Warstick is the spot. Bingo. I want to start today with advice for league presidents. Chad Chop, the microphone's yours.
Yeah, so I've got been thinking about this. I've got a series of F's, right? So we've got, and this is a big one because when I think back to my little league, the first thing I go to was the food. So like make sure that your snack bar is the term that we're using nowadays, I believe is bussin', and make sure we're cooking in there, right? So, I mean, top shelf hot dogs, you got to have the chili billies, which if you don't know, that's nachos with chili. You've got to have just a permeation of a burger on a grill kind of at all times. 8 a.m. start to a game. Yeah, it smells like burgers. Smoke gets in your eyes. You know what? Throw an air fryer in there. Throw some fries on there. Why not? And so you got to have food. You've got to focus on fun. It's got to be friendship and it's got to be fairness. And what I mean by fairness is when you're putting together these teams, don't try to put together a super team. Make sure that, there's parity in the league and that's going to make everybody better and it's going to make for an overall better experience. But you've got food, you've got fun, you've got friendship, you've got fairness. And then I'm going to throw in an M, which is music. Have some music playing in the background. And if you can, make sure it's from the 70s or the 80s. Bang. It's a great league. You're welcome.
Amazing sauce. I like that.
Yeah.
This job as a league president can be quite thankless, can fill up your schedule big time, and we're here to say thank you for doing it. Thank you for being willing to give your time up. Just met the president of the La Jolla Little League, and they have a 3-year contract that they signed. So they're in it for 3 years. He's at the beginning of his third year, and he's worn down. He's tired. And I went and I gave him a pump up. I said, what you're doing is super, super important. Um, Snack Shack, music, very important. I I think holding your coaches and your board members accountable might be your most important job. These kids, um, they love the uniforms. We love our foul lines and our dugouts and our pristine grass and our snack shacks and our music. But I don't think even if the Rolling Stones are doing a live concert and the best chef in the world is cooking up beautiful burgers and dogs, the kids don't want to come back next year if the coach is toxic. So I think it's important that you educate your coaches somehow, some way, and you hold them accountable when need be. That would be my advice, league presidents. Coach Sean Flicky, what do you got for all the El Presidentes in the land?
Well, I mean, you two are masterful in this area. I don't have a lot to add. I would add 1990s also as a possible music source. Um, and the other thing I would add is don't be afraid to innovate. You have to, in the spirit of Bob Weir, read the room. How's it going in your league? If you're a league that's doing coach pitch at 6 years old, are they doing some of the warmer states where baseballs play a little more often, a little more year round? How's it going? If it's not going great, is there something we can do to innovate? And don't be afraid to innovate. We've got lots of great ideas on here. Episode 89 is a treasure trove. But I would just say take in the information that's available to you and um, don't get too uh, buoyed to one idea or one way of doing something, because that's not what leadership is. You can say, yeah, our principles, there are some principles we're founded on that are non-negotiable. But when it comes to things like rules, how we do things, some of the nuts and bolts of running a league, I would say, hold that stuff in an open hand and don't be afraid to be creative.
Love it. Love it. Love it. And again, you can't do it alone. So invite those board members for some pizza or a barbecue. Get to know all of them, build trust, and get on the same page. The last thing you want is you. You have certain priorities, and then the board is griping that they want other priorities in the mix. I think one common argument would be uh, wins and winning being a little more important than other things. So try to create a culture where winning is a both and, as Flicky says. You want to win, but not at the cost of these kids' lives. Let's promote joy, character development, common sense. Can we just have a league uh, that is jubilant and a geyser of common sense, and make it the kids' journey. It's not the parents' journey, it's the kids. So tons of servant leadership in store there. Anything else hitting you on a president level, Chopper or Flick?
No, it's good. Yeah, set a culture, set a vibe, set expectations, and then yeah, I'm gonna go back to it, dude. Like, the only thing I remember was the food. And like, here's the thing, give like a foul ball, like they get something free from the snack bar. Like you guys are making money on the snack bar. So like hook up a hot dog. You bring in that foul ball, give that kid a hot dog. Hey, thank you. Because they're gonna remember it. I remember that. I remember sprinting after a foul ball and fighting with three guys and elbowing here because I'm getting my hot dog. Telling you, like those are the things. Food. Bang.
And coach, I will say, using one of our top tools, okay, to share this with people. I stole it from Johnny Mack, the good borrow and the genius steal. Don't be afraid to have a fat stack of Hall of Fame baseball cards in the snack shack either, to promote the game. When the little brothers and sisters are there and you see them, help, you see the 4-year-old help the 2-year-old. Hey, thanks for being such a good big brother. Here's an Ellie Dela Cruz, Donruss, Mint, PSA 10, corners, sharp, gloss, still on. You know, put that in your collection, or fight your older brother for it when you get home. But just to promote the game. I think that's another great thing you can do.
Beautiful. I've met some parents with blue jeans and flannel shirts in the bleachers on the road, and they're a little on the fence about coaching. Should I be an assistant coach? Should I help out? Do I have time to do this? So I'd like to provide some advice, maybe some comfort to that parent that is not sure. They've never played before, never coached. They're on the fence. So, Chad Chop, what do you got for that parent?
I would say take the leap of faith, understanding that your goal is to be there and be supportive. Like any way I can help. It might just be dragging the field. It might be handing out baseball cards. But it's not that difficult to be an assistant coach. Be kind, be loving, be encouraging, get to know the kids, and just make sure that they feel loved and special, independent from the result. And so an assistant coach, and it's huge because you can't have a good practice or a great team without great assistant coaches. So it's a tremendously valuable role, and it's not that difficult if you come in there with the right the right intention, which is make it fun, make sure they know they're loved, and just be open to whatever the team needs.
We had a great discussion in San Diego about team moms. And especially at that younger level, the more moms you can get on board with a T-ball team, they're super nurturing. They can handle the Band-Aids and the ice packs. And we had a mom say, how can I be a good team mom? And it was that. Just bring the love. And it can be zero baseball or zero hockey or zero sport teaching, but the fact that you're in there, you're in the dugout, you're providing that love, that's huge. So whether you are a mom or a dad, um, uh, yeah, giving out that love is huge, Chopper.
Yeah, so we had Titus is playing flag football, right? And it's rec, so it's Little League of football. And so I asked him, I go, "Hey, Tai, how was your game? Or how was your day?" He's like, "Oh, it was great. It was awesome." I'm like, "Oh, cool. Did you guys win?" He goes, "Oh no, we lost. I don't even know. It was horrible, but the snacks were amazing." So like that's a team mom, right? And so that's however it happened. The results weren't great on the field, but my son came home fired up because the snacks were bussing. So
Yeah.
like, that's a thing.
I I will say us men, we have some strengths. I don't know that nurturing and being super empathetic to the kid crying or the kid that needs a band-aid is a strength, not of mine anyway. I was in a house of boys and it was rub some dirt on it and it was what's a band-aid? So um, that's something I'm working on for sure. Try to get a little more empathetic, but team moms, you are incredibly important, and you allow some of the dads to be able to just go more baseball specific or basketball specific. And you can be that one-on-one. How about the kid that's neurodivergent, that it may be overreactive? Again, a nurturing mom can really fill that gap in a great, great way. Grandma, aunt, as well. So I can't stress it enough how important a team mom is at any age, but especially that 5, 6, 7 year old age. Any coach that's getting into the T-ball age group, I say go sit in on an elementary school teacher, on a kindergarten teacher, on a preschool teacher, and just watch how they work with the kids. They're all moms. There's not very many dads, not many males in that space. It because it takes a ton of patience and a ton of motherly love. So, um, Coach Flick Money, whether it's a mom or a dad, they're on the fence about helping coach. What do you got for them?
Well, I just want to just fuse together the two ideas. The team, what we're talking about, the team on, that is an assistant coach.
Mhm.
I think maybe not separating those roles, and we won't alienate. We run the risk inadvertently of kind of alienating ladies, being like, well, there's this team mom nurturing role. So if someone's already got that locked down, you're kind of not useful. The team mom is an assistant coach. Let's call her, Coach Barbie or whatever it is, and bring her in, give her the same access to everything as she as the all the other assistant coaches. She's just got obviously specialized skill set. But there are going to also be moms and dads who are more, a little more sporty spice. There are going to be some who are a little more artsy spice. There are going to be some who are a little more patience and empathy spice. So we need all of those spices. So whatever your gift, your skill set is, it can be zero baseball, and you can still be very, very valuable. No matter what you're bringing to the table, we need all the spices in the stew, as it were.
And be you, whoever you are, we need you, especially if you are bringing a little joy spice to the mix, then that little league team needs you, and they need you to be you. So be the most happy version of you, but don't be afraid to be you. And if you are that quiet parent who's shy and doesn't really want to jump in there and lead 12 people, that's okay. You might be the Mr. Miyagi that quietly sits beside the kid who overreacts when they strike out, or you're that first base coach who's ripping baseball cards or Skittles to the kids to remind them how fun this is. So um, we need you. We need you out there. And your head coach would love to have you helping at practices too, whenever you can show up, because as we talk about all the time, breaking the kids up into small groups at practice means more movement, but we need more adults there to make that happen. Skibbity bop, another break from the pod to tell you about our partner at Thromo, the Thromo trainer Matt. It's the coolest thing I've seen to teach a kid how to throw, how to step, how to reach to the target, how to follow through. Super simple, super effective. Use the discount code, which is Attaboy, and you'll get a discount on that thing. Go get them. Well, I'm going to get into the world of hockey a little bit here, boys. And I've heard that the hockey culture, it is not dissimilar to the baseball culture and the football culture. Like it can get pretty intense north of the border and into the northern states of the United States here. My 10-year-old in his fifth season of hockey, second as a full-time goalie. He became a half-time goalie 2 seasons ago at age 8, and it was a ton of fun. Would usually play the first half as a goalie and then transition to a different position. Last season, he and another goalie split every game. One of them would start, and then halfway through, they'd switch. Next game would be reversed. This season, my son has a new goalie to platoon with, except this time, the other goalie's parents insist that the boys each take turns playing full games. My son and I are appalled. We show up healthy, dressed, ready to play, but we don't play. We can't play that full game. We can't platoon. Um, there were phone calls made to the higher ups at the USA Hockey headquarters, and they're just at a loss of how to attack this. We had a meeting last night, the director of the hockey program, the coach, the other parents, and me. I brought an article and an email from the USA Hockey development director stating he strongly recommends that every kid play half of every game. The director of our hockey program had spoken to a local hockey coach who had said they're going to need to play full games when they're older, so they should start at age 10. So, what do we do? I think this transcends hockey. This is in all sports where should a kid be playing shortstop? Should a kid be playing point guard, middle field in soccer the whole game, or should there be platooning at the age of 10? Hmm, Chad Chop, let's crank it up with you, my man. What do you think about platooning at that age?
I don't like kids not so he doesn't get to play at all on the games when he's not assigned.
Right,
I
that's
don't,
that's the idea.
I'm off that. I feel like this parent is doing everything in his power, right? He reached out, he's trying to provide resources. Um, at a certain point, you've got to make a decision as a family. I don't know the hockey arena, no pun intended, as far as I don't know if there's an ability to maybe get on another team where you're like-minded with the coach. Um, but I also would say it's a good lesson for him and the son of like, hey, sometimes things don't go your way. So we made a commitment to the team. We're going to honor that commitment, and then at the end of the year, we can reassess. I would make that known to the coach too. It sounds like it won't affect his playing time because he's going to play every other game because that's what they've decided. And yeah, that's it's unfortunate, but it's out. It seems like it's outside of their control. As it relates to baseball, I agree with not kind of pigeonholing players, but I also would say make sure that if you're going to put a kid out of position that they're equipped for it, right? I think sometimes as coaches we're like, I'm just going to put Jimmy at short because he wants to play short. Well, if he's not able to do that, he might get hurt. He might have a bad experience, and that is doing more harm, I think, than good. So do that at practice so that they can show a level of proficiency, so that then you can put them in a position to succeed on
Mhm.
game day.
Yeah, that's parallel to having kids at practice uh, have a pitcher station where if they throw enough strikes in practice, then they've earned the right to pitch in the game. Maybe there's a middle infield station where if they've fielded enough balls cleanly and made the plays, then they've earned the right to play those positions. In hockey, if they've stopped enough pucks, then they've earned the right to play. But the heart and soul of this question is should a kid play a full game to get them ready for middle school and high school, or is platooning a better route? Flick Money, what do you think?
We've had this conversation in an extended fashion over a long period of time. 10 years old is about the time ish when the competition starts ratcheting up, where the pool of players starts to shrink down. Between 10 and 13 is where you're really starting the reality of there's only so many jerseys at the upper levels. that starts to filter down. So I think it's really admirable that the dad is working behind the scenes to facilitate adult conversations. Is this the best choice for us as an organization, as a team? Okay. Those are important conversations. Simultaneously, it's critically important for the development of your child that he doesn't see that obstacle get removed by dad, because otherwise what you're saying to him without saying it is, if things aren't or stacked against you and it's not going your way, someone's going to come in and engineer it for you so that we fix it and you get to play. Now, I'm saying this not having seen the two kids play. I don't know, we don't know, we don't have a lot of information about this situation, but I'm just saying in general, uh, help your kid, support your child choosing that, be creating themselves into an undeniable force as a teammate, as an athlete, as a player, as a human being, showing up early, thanking the coach, asking for honest critical feedback, practicing hard, staying late, being the last one there, and then and your opportunity will come. We've all been around sports long enough to know, for some reason, the way the universe seems to churn, there's these beautiful moments that open up for walk-ons, underdogs, number twos. We're talking about Mendoza and the Indiana Hoosiers. That isn't a team built on players who were unrecruited, 0-star, 1-star, 2-star. Fernando Mendoza was a 2-star high school. That's out of 5, by the way. Okay, these guys went to Texas State, Kent State, James Madison, just won the Natty in Division I football. Just smoked Alabama, a bunch of 5 stars. Just smoke. This is sports does this, and so please do not rob your child of the opportunity to have that kind of a, in a miniature way, Fernando Mendoza experience where they get to be the guy that overcomes all of the no's and the shut doors and the backs turned and the, didn't even know my names. Use that as fuel to get that extra work done. But yes, it is an important adult conversation to have. I just don't want it. I just don't want the kid to think that this is the way life works, because that's not the way life works.
There's a great quote that fits right in what you're saying, Flick, is hard work and a great attitude put you in a position where good luck finds you. And so I think that's kind of it's a wonderful quote. And it's what you're saying, like work hard, have a great attitude. And those are the athletes where the universe just kind of like, oh man, they got Tom Brady. Oh, dude, he just got lucky. No, he was an unknown who got zero opportunities and figured out a way. If I work hard and have a great attitude and grind in every chance I get, for me, that's the Super Bowl in the fourth quarter with 2 minutes left. Now he's Tom Brady. So it doesn't guarantee you're going to be Tom Brady, but it does guarantee if it is meant to be, that opportunity will present itself. And everyone's going to think you're lucky, but you're not. You were actually just navigated this the right way without mom or dad fixing it for you.
Yeah. I see it as two different conversations. On If I'm the coach of this hockey team, I see it to be way more valuable for both 10-year-olds to platoon. You've got half the game they're playing goalie, and then half the game they're playing a position uh, of somebody else who's trying to score a goal. If I can play offense and defense, then I become a better defensive player. So I would say they're going to be a better goalie if they can get inside the brains of other positions. So if I'm the coach, I think it's a no-brainer. Instead of a guy holding a clipboard all game and just watching a full game and then playing goalie the next full game, why wouldn't you get a little more action? I always say with baseball players, hey, I want you to learn a few different positions. Why? Because when you get to high school, the shortstop is a senior, all state, they're a stud. They ain't going anywhere, but right field's open. Are you an athlete? Can you play there? So, from a coaching standpoint, from a president standpoint, yeah, there's still 10, and I don't think we need to specialize yet. From the family side, from the kid, if control the controllables. Maybe his coach is not like-minded with me and thinks that a kid should play a whole game, then sit out a whole game. How loud of a cheer can you be while you're holding that clipboard for 60 minutes or however long that game is? How early can you show up and what kind of great teammate can you be? Can you help that other goalie become a better goalie? You can control the controllables in a lot of ways, as Flick Money said, as Chopper said, with your work ethic, being undeniable. Um, yeah. So uh, you're going to have different coaches. You're going to have different rules. But there's always a controllable or seven that you get to control. So, um, yeah. What did we miss? Did we hit it? Did we hit every
Well,
angle?
yeah, I was just going to say, and it's also okay. I agree with Chopper. I don't know the lay of the hockey land. It sounds like this is junior hockey. It sounds like there's the U.S. junior hockey is somehow involved. So maybe this is the only show in town, in terms of this level of hockey. But if reps are more important, if you feel at this stage of your development, getting reps is more important, then the analogy to what Indiana did was a lot of those guys said, I'd rather go play somewhere and I'll see you in 2 or 3 years when I have a transfer decision I can make. But I'm going to go get snaps. In this case, I'm going to go get minutes, rink time, playing with a different team, and I'll see you at tryouts at U12 when my body started to change a little bit. I mean, that's another option. So I don't discount that as an option if in order to develop you need ice time, then and the coach is like, this is an immovable object. I think that's a totally important family conversation to have. Um, but if it were me and my son, I would strongly encourage my child to try to work through it, to try to climb the mountain, because I just think that the character development side of that is just pure gold.
Bingo, bango, bongo. Um, Baseball specific question here from a parent. Uh, my son is in machine pitch, and I've done the math. He's seen about 1,000 pitches in the game and in practice and has made contact twice off the machine. I've spent a lot of time trying to help him, but he's so terrified of the ball, afraid of being hit by the pitch. That happens in kid pitch, or just the speed of the ball coming out of the machine. Either way, just would love to pick your brain on A, how to overcome the fear, and B, how to get his bat to that ball from machine pitch. Well, I'll lead off here and just say the fear of a moving object coming at you, very natural, very normal. 100% of the kids I've ever coached have gone through this. Guess who else has gone through this? Shohei Ohtani, Mike Trout, Babe Ruth, and Wally Joyner. Everybody has moments of light bulb where they get through that moment or they overcome that fear. So normalize it. It's very regular. I'm sure you went through this and maybe you forgot, Dad. Everybody has this obstacle to climb. Um, I did a webinar on it, so just go watch that. I did it for the coach, I did it for the parent, I did it for the kid. I talked to all three of you. So watch that with your kid. And I think if you watch it with them and you kind of walk through this fear with them, with empathy, lay in the mud with them while they're afraid, instead of just teaching them how to get out of that mud, lay with them and grieve and relate on how difficult this situation is, I think their turnaround will be faster. They need dad, they need mom to just be empathetic and get down there with them. Um, as far as when will they get through this fear factor? Because I do think this is why he's missing 1,000 balls. Is he's not giving himself a chance from the jump because of the fear of the ball. Try different types of balls. Maybe we We flip him some wiffle balls. We flip him some tennis balls. Then you can slowly but surely progress up this stairwell. That's about 28 flights. And just each week, maybe you're improving. The quicker you try to change it, the quicker you try to snatch the fear out of him, the longer that process is going to take. But try to get creative, relate with them, and let them know, hey, I went through this as well. That's a great place to start. How about the mechanics of it? Maybe the kid does overcome the fear after 4 weeks. How does he quicken up that bat or get that bat to the ball, Chad Chop?
So without seeing him swing, I'm assuming, and this is based on seeing a lot of kids that are afraid of the ball. He's probably stepping out. So what I would say is try to simplify everything. Get a little bit of a wider stance. Get those hands up around that ear, like we talk about your ear whispering a joke to the wrist, and then it kind of gets louder. So just those hands are like, oh, that's loud, and they go back just a little bit, and that's a good spot to put your hands and get nice and wide, eliminate a stride, and just use your hands. And I think that'll give him the best chance once he overcomes the fear. But everything you said, spot on. I was afraid of the ball. I remember watching my older brother and thinking, there's no way I can play 14U because they're throwing too hard and I'm afraid. And so organically, we all overcome that in different ways, but there is no magic sauce. He's going to come at it his own way. What you said is right, ball game. Um, the empathy will, I think, potentially help the process maybe speed up just a little bit. But it's going to be once your son or daughter realizes that, hey, okay, I got hit a few times and I'm okay. Especially with the machine, because the machine's consistent, should be. And so I would say that. But yes, get a little wider, eliminate a stride, get your hands in a good position to launch from, and just go from there.
Yeah, I see it in my daughters where I'll give them advice on something, and maybe they hear it, maybe they don't, but they really want to figure it out on their own. So I see it where, wow, we didn't talk about this issue for a whole month, and they just figured it out on their own, and they're good to go. So yeah, it'll be his decision or her decision to overcome this. Flick money.
Yeah, I'm really curious if the child likes the game. You know what I mean? Because I see dad, this is another case. I see dad wanting to re-engineer the failure, but what we don't know, the information we don't know, does the child ever say, "Hey, dad, pitch me. We're folding laundry. Hey, ball up those socks, pitch them to me. I want to see if I can hit it with the back of my hand. Let's make up a game in the living room." You know what I mean? Because there's a million ways you can build hand-eye coordination. But when I hear swing 1,000 pitches and two contacts, I think of that kid that's they're somewhere else in their brain. They're not actually present with what's happening. Ball fear will definitely do that to you, where they're just sort of like, my brain's just occupied with how do I make sure I'm staying safe. I'm definitely not seeing ball and bat touch each other. So, if the child actually likes it, still says is interested, I would do little things. I would ball up some socks and have them hit it playing in the living room, hit it with the back of your hand. You know, if you can hit it against the back wall of the rec room, then that's Skittles. Whatever it is, make some fun games and just help them build hand-eye coordination. Work from the back of their hand to a paper towel tube. Can you hit it with a paper towel tube? Now we've extended past the hand 6 inches. Now can we go 12? Like really and skill builds coordination to the end of a bat length thing. Wiffle balls and socks and things are great for that. But I'm curious if the child loves it. If the child's not asking, maybe I pay attention to what the child is asking for. They might be not, they may not, they might see your love of it and your love of wanting them to do well and not feel comfortable telling you, but maybe they really wish you'd take them to the closest amusement park. Maybe they want to go fast with their hands up, hair in the wind, just figure out what else it is that they love. Um, and take some of the pressure off of this thing because I'm sure believe me, they're aware that they've only hit it twice. They're really fully aware deep down. So yeah.
That's a great point, Flick Money, and I've seen it with my own home where I I'm I feel like I'm very self-aware of what I'm putting out there to the kids on if I want them to play sport or softball or volleyball, and I feel like I'm as laid back as they come. But both the girls have tried softball, and both of them have realized pretty quickly they don't dig it. And both of them had a tough time owning up to that and saying, "Hey, Dad, can we have a chat? I want to tell you something." Like it happened where the 12 and 8-year-old at different times came in and was like, I like soccer better, Dad. I think I like volleyball better. But it wasn't easy for them to do that. Even for laid back, trying to do my best Doug Lowe Hawaiian shirt unbuttoned impersonation of chilling out and letting them do whatever they want to do, they still sense I love the game of baseball and softball. And so it was not easy for them to break that news. So just self-reflect constantly, daily. Uh, what am I putting out there? What are they hearing or what are they sensing from me? Because odds are, this dad probably's got a couple buckets of balls in the truck and is watching a lot of baseball games, and the kid picks up on that. So um, make it a two-way street. Listen to the Duke Baxter episode from this podcast, where we talk about how to be a baseball mom or dad and navigate this world. It's good. Boom, we got a brand new partner, Diamond Crate. Go to their website, check it out. Every month in the mail, you'll get this box. I'm sure you've seen other baseball themed boxes, but this box, it's got more and better. It's the best I've seen. Use the discount code Attaboy35. That's 35% off at their website. Jump on it. It's really cool. The kids flippin' love it. Bang. We're going to finish with one last one here, and I like this question. It's it's a group of 10 and 11-year-olds where most of them have played T-ball all the way up. They've been playing for 6 years. How do we bring in these two new players where they've never played, but they want to? Um, there's a fear factor there. The skill development is Benny the Jet versus Smalls, basically. I'm finding the new kids are very discouraged when they try to uh, practice and be on this team. Uh, any advice to make their baseball journey easier as the newcomers? Very good question. I think a lot of listeners can relate. So, Chad Chop, fire away on this one.
Yeah, this is something with the pups that we take really seriously as far as anytime there's a new kid on the team or coming to try out. It's like, hey, we all been to school, a new school our first day, or been on another team where, we all know that feeling, that emotion. So make sure you make them feel welcome, make sure you make them feel loved and be really encouraging. So if they're just starting out in the game, we can say that out loud. Hey, we're a little further along in our journey, but we're going to help you get, to where we're at. And we're going to do that with love and respect and kindness and patience. And that's a collective. So, like I learned that from you, ball game. If someone strikes, hey, great swings, and everyone dabs them up. And so you make that perceived failure just part of the process. Like, hey,
Mhm.
yeah, my first 2 years I had really trouble with X, Y, or Z, but now you can see I'm a little bit more proficient just because I kept working and stayed positive and had really good teammates and coaches that encouraged me and helped me, and we've got drills for that. For coaches, I like taking it, like putting it on me, right? Of like, hey, especially in club ball, like we're not controlling the running game. That's on me. I got to teach you guys how to do that. And so like that's my job. And don't be worried about that or fearful or upset. That's on me. And I'm gonna get that right. And so everything's a process. And I think that's how you set it up of just this is a safe environment to try
Mhm.
and fail and just be confident and fearless in everything that you do, and we've got your back.
That's great. Made me think of the movie The Sandlot, and I think the reason that movie sticks and stands the test of time is the relationship Benny the Jet has with Smalls. So get your team together here, coach, and have them watch The Sandlot, and pause it from time to time when you notice, wait, the best player on the team, he's showing signs of caring for Smalls here, the new guy. I think that's a great way to have a pizza party and just bring brotherhood or sisterhood together on your team. And it's a great culture builder. But yeah, just constantly looking through that lens, coach, of we will award Benny the Jet not for the talent, but for how kind he is to the kids that are brand new. We will award Smalls for the bravery of trying something brand new and just constant fist bumps and high fives. These newcomers, they're going to get out a lot in the scrimmage games. They're going to get out a lot in the games. And how many of those kids that have been there for 6 years can go over and say, "It's all right, man. You got this." Just that is the stop the press moments, and that's when I really dish out awards and baseball cards is to those kids that have been playing for 6 years, but they are willing to help these newcomers out. Practically split the kids up into small groups at practice by their experience level. You don't want Benny the Jet playing catch with Smalls. There's going to be a bloody nose, and Smalls is going to quit day one. So break them up into different experience levels, and then you have a couple different coaches running different stations where the newcomers are all playing catch together, learning at their pace. You've got the Hambinos learning at their pace, and the Benny the Jets at their pace. If you do a scrimmage game at your practice, maybe you got to use a tennis ball. Maybe you got to use a softer baseball. Maybe you got to put Smalls in the outfield just for safety purposes, because safety is got to be priority one. But the culture that you set, coach, and all of your assistant coaches set, I think that's way more powerful than these kids becoming better baseball players, is them becoming better human beings and being empathetic and selfless when it comes to people that maybe haven't been in their shoes. So step into other people's shoes and walk a mile before you do any judging. Flick Money, we'll close up shop with you as you are a savant of this sort of situation.
Well, wow. Thank you, Coach. Thanks for having me on. As a 6 year middle school educator and 30-year coach of this age, I will say one thing that is true is human beings, we love to stratify ourselves. We love stratifications, levels. Who's better, especially at that age? Who's better? Who's the best? Who's got the best glove? Who's got the best? Like, that's a natural part of this age. You can fight it, but then you lose credibility. So what I love what you guys are saying is you're saying flow with the stratification. Let's call it what it is. We have more experienced players. So there's times in practice to have a more experienced players group. But a couple things that I would do to flow with the stratification is number one, we've already indicated it. There's times when those best players need to be coaching those new players, or like mentoring would be a better way to say it. You engineer the Benny the Jet and Smalls situation by saying, for this drill, I want, best guy paired with newest guy, second best guy paired with newest guy. And be specific with them. Here's what I want you to be teaching them. They need better footwork on ground balls. I want you to go teach it to them for 10 minutes in the corner. That's going to be one of the stations. Because what you're doing is, it's working on so many levels. Kids learn better from kids, especially at that middle school level. They really take in a lot from each other. Number two is you're building young coaches, keeping the game going. But number three, and maybe most importantly for those Benny the Jets, we learn 20%, we retain 20% of what we hear, 50% of what we see, and somewhere between 85 and 90% of what we teach. So you're actually, in a roundabout way, you're actually improving their skill set, because they're going to have to articulate for themselves, wait a minute, what is it that we do on this thing? How does guys on second and third, ball in the right field corner, how does that cut actually work? Who goes where and in what situation, right? So you have them teaching some of that stuff to those new guys. That's working, that's flowing with stratification. Flowing, don't fight against that tide, but using it in a smart way. And then there's times when the Benny the Jets need their own group, so that they can soar together as well. But when you do have a less experienced group, I challenge you to make sure your best coach is working with that group, because it's the thing that can really feel um, diminishing to those kids inadvertently, is when it's like, not only are we know we're grouped together in the quote unquote worst group, but you've also given us the coach who didn't play, and who kind of, but tries really hard and wants to know everything and isn't teaching it very well. You know what I mean? Like, how about you flip the script and you give the best coach to that group for that rotation, um, and have them stay with them, just so that you're working on multiple levels. And you can rotate that too if you got a couple assistant coaches. But yeah, stratification's human. Let's flow with it and build a culture. And then I love what Chopper does: spotlight those kids, give them a chance to talk about who they are, what they love. Even after week 1, week 2, have other kids tell them what I've noticed about you already that I like, so that the social side of it, the socialization side, starts to build your team culture as well.
Super strong. And let's talk about stratification. If Bad Bunny is not trying to balance that thing out, Dolly Parton's not joining him at the Super Bowl. So bringing it all the way back to the beginning, you gotta find that nice, tasty balance of it all. Coach Flick, we'll let you close us out here, episode 133. Thanks for being here, listener. Thanks for having us. And Sean Flicky, who moonlights as a stand-up comedian and ballroom singer, will close us out with his version of song.
Jolene, 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 Jolene. Estoy prego, por favor, no tengo mi hermano. Bang.
How do you say bang in Spanish, Chop?
Bango.
It doesn't get any better than this.